What's going on, fashionistas? Today I'm going to be giving you a brief look into 5 of the most creative fashion designers who are pushing the limits of what's possible within fashion, designing the impossible, and changing the boundaries on what the word fashion even means. Let's get right into it. At number 1, we have Nicole McLaughlin.
I think the distinguishing quality of my work is that I can honestly say it truly captures my personality. It's very much based in play and imagination and kind of the childhood sense of wonder.
Nicole McLaughlin is an American fashion designer who's taken the word upcycling to a whole new level.
Discovering what the possibilities are with the things that we have, like things that we wouldn't take a second look at and just get rid of it.
Typically, when you think of upcycling, it limits itself at cutting up one piece of clothing and giving it new life by turning it into something else. McLaughlin has flipped this whole concept on its head.
If you were to really understand the value of it, you would look at it in a completely different way.
She has taken everything from waffles to toothpaste tubes and somehow turned it into actual functional, fashionable clothing wear. Even if you don't think it's fashionable, she makes a lot of pieces where if you see it, it's going to sit in your stomach for a couple days and you're going to think about it days later.
I love when there's almost like a spark of controversy. I love to see people's reactions to things and the community that is created around that.
One thing that makes Nicole so interesting is it's very hard to put her in a box alongside other fashion designers. Typically, a fashion designer will gain their presence via the runway or the catwalk on these high-end kind of stages. Nicole McLaughlin's clothing is very intricate and unique, and so it's very difficult to duplicate and make on a mass scale.
Something about it's going to feel different, and a lot of the time the material I use, there is only one I could find of it, and sometimes I'm using mismatched soles or different parts of things, and it's hard to duplicate what I do.
Therefore, Nicole has found an alternative way to make money and make clothing.
I look at waste as opportunity. That's money that companies are throwing away because they can't figure out a way to utilize it.
What she'll do is she'll partner with brands like Nike, Crocs, JanSport, these well-established brands who have the sewing machines, who have the people, who have extra materials.
These brands have all this stuff, and I know it because I've seen it. How can we find a way to use it? Can we bring this back into production? Can we do workshops? To me, it was dollar signs because it's material that they're ready to throw away. And I was like, if I can make something cool out of it, I'll take it.
And use their resources and create limited collabs that you can buy if you do want a Nicole McLaughlin piece. Otherwise, everything is one-on-one and she doesn't really sell her clothes. Even if the piece was designed with no meaning intended, it makes you stop and think, what is going on here?
I think it's something about what you get when you see it, you have it, you feel it, and then you kind of keep moving on with your day. You'll come back and look at it or reference it or however, but you don't need to own it to have an experience with it.
At number 2, we have Mischief.
But the important thing here is there are no cheap viral gimmicks.
If you're not familiar with Mischief, you probably are familiar with these big red boots.
The word viral has become so cheap over the last 5 years, and sure, we've cashed in on that totally. The big red boots were cheap viral for sure. They just went crazy.
When you see a Mischief piece, it's something that makes you stop and wonder what you're looking at and just sits in the back of your head for a couple days.
And just sort of doing the thing that no one would ever think to do, but once you did it, everyone's like, oh, it kind of makes sense, right?
But what makes Mischief so unique from other designers, Nicole McLaughlin may see a waffle and be like, how can I turn this into a shirt? And as a byproduct, I may or may not get a viral moment. Mischief kind of takes a backwards approach. They start with the viral moment. Their whole purpose is how can we generate a viral moment? And whatever we get as a byproduct is going to be our product.
Keep getting the hits, and I don't know where it's going to go, but I need the feeling. I need the feeling. So it was kind of like you're a junkie, actually. It's I'm not thinking about the money. I'm not thinking about anything. I need that feeling.
So giant Fruit Loop, that'll probably go viral. They made a $60,000 purse that you can only see with a microscope. They made perfume that smells like WD-40 in a clean bathroom.
How do we clash two worlds together that have never met and then create an experience that actually works. Everything is sort of flat, like it all already exists. Like remixing is the creation of new.
They had a promotion where they were giving away like hundreds or even thousands of keys to a working car, but the car was hidden in a random place in the world. So you'd buy the key, and if you found the car, you get to keep it.
We are not delivering a script necessarily, but we're delivering a scene and a set of props. And it becomes almost like a social experiment, and we get to sort of see how that plays out.
So the CEO's kind of whole marketing strategy was like, how can we get marketing for free? How can we get free promotion? We just have to create an item, create a product that is so weird, so interesting. We have all these people in the world talking about our product, and we didn't even have to like ask them or pay for the promo.
And kids in college now learn about like marketing and like audience and channels and distribution, all that stuff. But what I didn't realize at the time was I built a viral loop into the product because people had to tweet tagging me to engage with the platform, which meant they were advertising my service to all of their followers. And then it kind of like finds a life of its own. It finds its own audience.
And in the social media age, I haven't seen really any other brands take this approach to that extent. Obviously, other brands do kind of try to get a little viral moment, but that's not their whole purpose. That is Mischief's whole motto and thing is how can we go viral on the internet. And I absolutely love it. I think Mischief definitely checks the box when it comes to designing the impossible.
We did a gun buyback, and people who gave us their guns, we melted them down and then we forged them into swords. So this was like a Russian RPG.
Number 3, Kentucky Boy Tyler.
All these people are all influenced by the same shit.
Now, this is a fashion designer who I think very much embodies like a grassroots approach to fashion.
Kentucky Boy Tyler started really in 2017 is when I started sewing. I always loved design, but I never wanted to actually like make clothes. I thought like all the clothes in the world and whatnot were made by robots.
Just a kid with no real experience or connection to the high-end fashion world, worked on his craft, didn't give up, and eventually broke into the high-end kind of designer fashion.
That's when I learned how to sew, and then I dropped out of school immediately. Just started every single day like putting all my focus into making the clothes.
Tyler pieces are very well crafted, and I think he could very easily make the transition into like haute couture
and runway shows. I want to do all that old school shit, but do it better than all the old people, you know?
But I think Tyler kind of brings it back to the clothing, and I'm gonna get very good at sewing. I'm gonna learn how to put a piece together, and I love making clothes.
I feel like streetwear used to mean something, so did like high fashion. Now like neither mean anything. Like everything's just blended together now.
I don't care what the high-end designer brands are making. We think this is cool, so let's make it.
I just don't think anyone should try to be anything, you know? Like as soon as you can fit into a box, like you already fucked up.
Integrating streetwear into luxury. Like I'm just a fucking DIY scene kid, you know, who's just gonna do the luxury shit.
Number 4, Walter van Bernadonk. So now with these next designers, we're entering the very luxury, high-end world of fashion.
But then there were the obvious, the halls, which were referring to glory halls.
Walter van Bernadonk, I think, kind of set the stage and changed the whole world of fashion. Walter van Bernadonk is a highly influential fashion designer who came up in the 90s and early 2000s.
I love to work with colors and messages and express certain emotions through clothes, and I was fascinated by from the beginning by nature and by ethnic tribes, and all these things were reflected from the beginning in my clothes.
Walter's interesting in that his clothing touches on a lot of touchy topics.
When I'm starting about a collection, I'm starting automatically to think how I'm gonna call it, and what will be the slogans I'm gonna use, and sometimes it comes very spontaneous, and sometimes it's more part of research that I'm reading about topics I like. And
I think Walter's main focus with his clothing is to spread a message and promote awareness of certain topics. So back in Walter's day in the 90s, early 2000s, in that community he was in, the high-end fashion world, there was a lot of drugs, sex, like being gay was very popular in his community, but it wasn't so popular in the world, right? He was making whole clothing collections dedicated to this community.
Even if I'm talking about a tough topic, I did a lot of collections which were referring to AIDS problematics or to ecological problems. I still try to tell it in a way that it has a light feeling, or it can be be even read in a very positive way.
He was getting a lot of hate and a lot of critique back in his day because he was pushing the boundaries and very much crossing the line of what is socially acceptable. And he was doing it through fashion.
Trying to tell something in a way that you can digest it and that you can think about without becoming totally sad.
So Walter created a whole fashion line where essentially the models were walking in giant latex suits that looked like condoms to spread awareness on safe sex, which at the time was looked at as absolutely insane.
I was always pushing boundaries. I was working with gender. 30 years ago, I was working with topics of the world and how we have to deal with it. I was doing that in collections like a long time ago. I was using different body shapes. I mean, I all did these things which are now so-called which are now so important.
I think not only did Walter have a huge impact and influence on fashion, but I think bigger than clothing, I think Walter had a very large impact on the world, because I think fashion is the world. Fashion is everywhere. It's part of the human experience. And that brings me to the last designer, Alexander McQueen.
People forget what fashion's always been about, and it's about attracting a mate, it's about sexuality, it's about showing a person who you are. And to me, this is who I'm about, and my influence comes through from everything I see, from a tramp on the street, from drugs in clubs, and do you know what I mean? It's just a part of my lifestyle. I'm 27, I'm not 57.
While McQueen is most notably recognized for his presence on the catwalk in his runway shows,
usually the mood of the show usually depicts, and it depends on if my mind is freer, then things get lighter and bigger. But usually everything is tight.
I think what separates McQueen from all other designers is his attention to detail and how meticulous he was when it came to actually creating clothing.
Design of fashion is so expensive because of what goes into the garments, you know. It's not just about printing something. This is like meticulously engineered around a body.
This guy wasn't just a designer, he was an engineer. McQueen could have been an architect and designed skyscrapers if he wanted to.
Fashion's like any entertainment industry, it's fickle. But I've always seen it in the same light, shallow.
He'd make a cardigan with horns in it, but somehow everything about it would be better, but it'd have these giant horns sticking out of it, but somehow the curves would complement with the curves of the body, and it would look good.
And it's good to leave the audience in bewilderment.
This is what a designer's job is to transcend what fashion is and what it could be.
But this guy was hyper obsessed with clothes.
Does fashion really matter? Of course. Does sex?
Before McQueen died, he was working on 14 fashion collections for other high-end luxury brands. Every high-end luxury designer brand wanted Alexander McQueen to design clothing collections for them.
2 men's for McQueen, 2 women's for McQueen, 2 haute couture for Givenchy, 2 ready-to-wear for Givenchy, and 2 pre-collections for Givenchy.
McQueen was a technician and an artist. All of his runway shows pushed the limits of creativity, changed fashion, something you've never seen before, but you would totally wear the clothes.
Balance is the main thing. I mean, the show shouldn't overshadow the clothes, and the clothes shouldn't overshadow the collection. You really have to get the message across what's going through your mind.
Skilled as McQueen was on the engineering side of things, he always found a way to balance it all and still give the most powerful messages through the runway shows and give the most creative, boundary-pushing shows the fashion world may ever see.
To the abyss.
Alright guys, that's it for the video. 5 designers who I think pushed the limits of creativity and very much designed the impossible. Let me know some of your biggest creative inspirations. Let me know what kind of content you guys want to see next. And please like and sub if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
My head's just about to explode. Couple.
I do not rock designer, baby. Don't get